All right, welcome to WLL Podcast. This is your host, Lanisha, and I am joined by my very bestest friend, Tiara V. Birdie Brown, all the things.
You better not say like I'm making
I was going to.
I know you were.
I had to stop myself. Mm-hmm. It was coming.
I'm
so
glad your intrusive thoughts did not win that time around.
Anyhow, I'm here with my best friend, and today we're going to be talking about friendships. We're kind of going to be talking about friendships. Like, that's what I want to do, but, you know, these things just happen to do what they want to do. So we're going to let it do what it do. We're going to let it do what it do, baby. We're going to make it do what it do, baby. Yeah?
What accent was that?
That was Jamie Foxx. No? You know when he did the, anyway, so.
I thought it was like New Orleans or something. He was trying to do,
So, first of all, let me just ask you. We're just going to get into it because clearly. Okay, so, Tiara is my longest friend. We've known each other since we were 6 years old. And I mean a fresh 6 because we met in first grade. And both of us have... Dad, Miss Dolan. Yeah, wow, she was cool.
She was cool.
She was cool.
I remember the Rice Krispie. Remember the Rice Krispie that she would give us when we did good?
Nah, girl. Listen. I don't be remembering nothing.
I remember show and tell. I remember everything.
I have trauma blocked my childhood some kind of bad, and if I didn't have Tiara around, I probably wouldn't remember half of the stuff.
I remember you got chicken pox in the 2nd grade, and you didn't come to school, and I was like, "Where are you? You had chicken pox."
Yeah, I had scars for 2 years.
Matter
of fact, I still, if you can kind of see it right here, this one, try to take me out. I remember that. I remember the calamine lotion baths with the real oatmeal inside of the bath.
When I got it before I was in school, but I remember putting the oatmeal packets in the tub and scooting around on my butt. Actually,
I was really grossed out. Like,
it was fun.
Because it made you slide. I was really grossed out, actually. But yeah, we met when we were 6 years old in the first grade, and both of us have summer birthdays, so we literally had just turned 6 when school started that year. And here we are, we'll be 36 this year, so I've officially known you longer than I haven't known you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I was only alive 6 years before you came into my life.
I mean, yeah.
Like, and then when do kids actually start remembering things?
I mean, well, I remember things as far back as like 4 years old.
So like,
I mean, clearly I remember when you had chickenpox in the 2nd grade.
I mean, but I'm just like, you know, like, when do like actual kids like start remembering things? I think that my oldest memory was like me sitting on top of a refrigerator and jumping off to like some man. I feel like it was my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
However, I could be confusing that story with a story he told me of my mother doing that.
That is just the power of the brain. You can literally implant memories into people's brains, but that's a whole nother conversation.
But that's like also manifesting when you visualize. Your brain doesn't really know if something happened. So if you start visualizing what you want, like, reality has to catch up with it. You know, according to some book I read somewhere. Anyway, but it kind of checks if you just saying that, like, I can convince myself that I remembered something.
Or you can convince yourself to believe what someone is telling you that you thought you remember was actually a real memory, and it may or may not have been. Again, the mind is powerful.
Yeah, so
we not doing no Inception type stuff here, girl.
Girl. Anyhow, so coming up on 30 years of friendship, because we digressed real bad. What would you say kept us friends this long?
You know, I was talking to somebody about that, and I was saying, like, I think that when we initially met, in the first grade. We were like, oh, we're best friends. Whoop! I truly don't know. I cannot remember. And I usually remember a lot of things, but I know that before I got out of elementary school, I considered you my best friend. Definitely, absolutely. When that happened, I know that it had to be somewhere between first grade. Well, no, definitely first and second grade. I would say I knew then. Between, as I'm thinking back on things, like the fact that I knew that you weren't in school because again you had
like you paid attention enough to know that I wasn't there.
Yes.
So you know what I think,
but that's not why you were that's not answering the question though. But that sticks out to me that I don't remember when you became my best friend, when I claimed it, but it's just something that I feel like I've always claimed. But why I chose to continue to claim you as my best friend. Is I tell people that you are a kind person, you are a good person because of how you treat other people, and also I have never felt like I've had to look at you sideways like and if I feel like if I ever need to, I can. No, I did once.
I was just about to say, bro, there was a time. We did have a time.
But I knew, I wasn't sure, but I found out that it was okay to have a moment, and it was safe to have a moment with you, and that moment wasn't going to compromise future moments or degrade previous moments that we've had, and that it was okay, that you were safe. And I always felt that and knew that, but that moment solidified it and confirmed it. So I never felt like I have to, period in life, I'm not shrinking myself. But I understand in some spaces I've had to be like, okay, I know I can't sit down. I've never felt like I had to compartmentalize parts of myself around you. I'm just me and my full regalia.
I want to come back to that because I want to ask you.
Which one?
Something recently happened with a different friend that I learned that I have to be like that with them.
What you mean?
I have to compartmentalize like
parts of yourself.
Yeah, and then it made me think like I think unconsciously I compare a lot of my friendships to our friendship.
Understandably so.
Yeah, and which is not fair to other people because they're not you and me, and they're not going to have our dynamic because they're completely different people. Okay, for me, I don't know when we became best friends, but I will say that I don't think it was like anything that happened at school that made me consider you my best friend. I think it was the things we experienced outside of school, or the things that I experienced, and then the only person I can remember being there was you. Like when my brother was jacked up by one of them people at Nomad, and like one of them, was it me or one of your sisters kicked that lady in the back of her leg to put him down.
It could have been.
And I was like, to me, that's like loyalty because like that's not even your brother. That's my brother. But you know what I mean? But like y'all wasn't having that, and I'm like, that's family to me. Anybody that's gonna like stick up for us like that. Now other parts. And I've been questioning, like, why am I friends with this girl? Like, you were mean and a menace. We were two different types. She said I was kind. Tiara was a menace.
I am just curious and inquisitive and a tad impulsive, which leads to me being mischievous. And sometimes I do things, and they can be sometimes categorized as mean, but it's never to be malicious. It is really for my pure entertainment.
But I will say I learned to not be so sensitive because of how you were, because you think everything is funny.
I feel like you're about to bring up,
and I'm not even gonna do it because people don't need to know.
Because I already know I know the example that you're probably going to even use.
I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not gonna tell everybody who watches this how you smashed my face in potato salad. I'm not gonna do that. Or I'm not gonna tell them how we were at Camp Schmidt, which I hate. I hate Camp Schmidt. I saw this post the other day, was like, you're not from PG County if you didn't experience Camp Schmidt. Anyway, I could not understand why I was looking forward to going there. I think the second I figured out we were going to be here, like, overnight, I was ready to go home.
I was a Girl Scout when I was in first grade, so hell, I love camping.
I didn't have to do that.
And my family country, so we be out in the woods doing the most good.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the dodgeball to the face.
Okay. I was not trying to hit her in the face. We were on different teams, and she was trying to be shady to me. Like, she wasn't my best friend, trying to be all Kiki with Shadara and them. Like, we ain't all friends. Yeah, her name dropped. It was 5th grade, okay? It was 6th grade.
Oh, 5th grade.
5th grade. And
Shadara, if you're watching this, we love you.
I mean, of course. Yes. But I'm competitive, and you weren't on my team.
Girl, to the face.
I wasn't trying to aim for your face.
Whatever, I took it personal.
I mean, understandable. I would take it personally too. Somebody hit me in the face with a ball, but I love you. And not only did she try to give me the cold shoulder at Camp Smith, we got to school and she continued the cold shoulder.
Because
you know how I remember this? Because I remember.
I can't even tell you because I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember because I remember I had to Ren Lee. She was like, "It's okay, Tia. We like you no matter what." And Lonnie.
Now look at Renly, nowhere to be found.
She was just trying to comfort me in my time of need. You know what? Moving on.
Renly, if you're watching this, we love you.
You ain't right.
You were a pivotal part of our friendship. Thank you for supporting my best friend in her time of need.
Why you was being mean to me?
I was being a butthead.
Listen, I was just trying to win the game.
Why you being weird to me?
I didn't know that trying to win the game would cost me my friendship.
I didn't know that trying to win the game would cost me my face.
You should have been faster than that.
Anyway, so the question actually was, why do you think we stay friends as long as we have?
I know your heart. I know your character. I cared enough to learn you and pay attention to you, and I have always loved and liked what I've seen. So it allows me to give you grace and not automatically assume the worst in you. Like that, even when that stuff happened, when we had our moment, the first thing that I felt was confusion. It wasn't like, oh, she did this to me. How could she? It wasn't contempt for you. It was just confusion. Like, what is going on? What happened? What's going on? It wasn't confusion. Like, why was she? Like, how could she do that to? Yes, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Because this is out of character. This is out of what I know.
It was weird. Yeah. So I wanted to give you a chance to figure it out, but I knew not to. Why would I condemn you? I know that that's not who you are. So I'm not going to immediately jump to assume the worst of your actions. Because that's not who you show me to be. Like, no.
I was married to him, and I was wreaking havoc on like everybody's emotions that was around me, just by me being a part of that relationship and how it was tearing me down, and the people around me, how they were feeling about it tearing me down. You came to me about my marriage. It was like, here's the thing. And really laid into me about the thing. And I needed that conversation so that I can wake up to what was going on around me and do something about it. Because I didn't know. You can't see yourself when you're inside of something. You need people to tell you
Absolutely
what's going on. And because I was receptive to you saying that to me, I felt like if this is my definition of a friendship, right? I should be this way with the people that I love because they can't see what's going on. We have blind spots. So Carson is my daughter, and I was talking to her about losses and how I don't think my parents talked to me enough about different types of losses and the type of grief that comes with it when I was a kid. So like, I know like somebody dies, that's a loss, and then you grieve them. But I didn't learn about losing a friend, how that feels. I didn't learn about losing a boyfriend, how that feels. I didn't learn about losing like competitions and like that kind of stuff until I experienced it, right? And as a child, I like started doing competitive dancing and cheerleading, and I learned about that. But like in high school was my first time that I actually, no, it wasn't high school. It was like post high school. It was a high school friend. It was my first time losing a friend. I was so hurt about that. So yeah, I was talking to her. I was talking to her about friendship losses and how like that hurt. Like you go from talking to somebody like every day to like they don't want to be your friend no more, and it's nothing you can do about that. And you like literally have to just.
You gotta go through the grieving process.
You have to. You get mad about it, then you're like sad, and then you like
angry.
F that. Like, what you mean you don't want to be my friend no more? Like, bro, what?
Okay, that part. I'm smiling because I've had my fair share of friendship breakups, definitely, and they suck. They hurt. Especially when you take relationships seriously. Yeah. There are some people who are in friendships and relationships for the optics of it, not really for the investment. They're not in it for the long haul. And you don't always know up front which friendship package you're getting until things start to unravel and you're put in situations where you're tested. And definitely I've had experiences where friendships have broken up, and I'm sad about them, angry, I'm mad, and I get to that space though where it's like, wait a minute, you don't want to be friends with me. I don't want to be friends with you. Wait a minute, time out. How about I don't even like you. Now that I think about it, after all is said and done and everything plays out and reveals itself, and it's like, wait,
like, how dare you?
It's like, wait,
decide you don't want to be friends with me.
No. It's not how dare you. Mine is thank you. Thank you for deciding no longer to be friends with me. Thank you. You should have did it sooner. Damn, why didn't it happen sooner? So I
be having to tap into my inner you because sometimes I be like, dang,
thank you.
No, I'll be like that, but I don't never look at it like that. Like,
do me a favor.
Good for me that you decided to do that. No, I never looked at it. I think I'm more so like...
Parting is such sweet sorrow.
I be wanting to figure out, like, what happened? I mean, I be trying to figure out, like, how did we get here?
Yes,
and I really be lost sometimes, and I be wanting to know because I know, like, I'm not perfect, right? So I be just wondering, like, what built up to this? How did we get here? Like, my feelings are hurt. You don't want to be friends with me no more?
Yeah, I had a situation like that where I didn't necessarily know how it happened, but the way they handled whatever conflict they had with me was so off-putting enough for me not to want to be friends with you ever again. So I don't even care for you to explain, because you didn't even, the way you handled it, stay all the way away from me. Thank you for revealing yourself to me. I appreciate it. You clearly weren't interested in me hearing your story. So if you were, I would have known and we could have done something about it. Or not, I don't know. I would have had the option. But you ain't nah. So thank you. You did it yourself.
Yeah.
Bye.
Haven't lost many friends, but the few I have lost, like, I don't necessarily miss that.
I don't miss nobody now.
I guess I don't really think about it until I have to think. Like, we're having this conversation, so I brought it up. But there was one friend that it seemed like all of my friends had a problem with, and she just kept coming in and out of my life, and I was so like wanting people to see the good in her, you know what I mean? So that, because I thought, I still think there is a lot of
absolutely
good in her,
people,
right?
People have redeemable qualities.
Yeah, but every time I opened the door for it to be redeemed, the last time I opened the door for it to be redeemed, she was staying with me, and I was at work, and I got a long text message about how I wanted something different for her life than she did, and that when I got home, she would be gone. And you're
a horrible friend.
I wanted her to get on her feet in the way that I wanted her to get on her feet. And she wanted to get on her feet in the way that she wanted to get on her feet. And now I haven't talked to her since that day. Like, we were living together and then we weren't. And then you were out of my life. Like, completely. And I'm like, my gosh. And you were already out of my life for a good period of time, and then you came back again. We get to this point, and you're not in my life anymore. So now it has to be like, all right, Lanisha, if you open that door again, that's on you. But what? Say what you gotta say.
So when friendships end, I think it's an opportunity to take an objective view at things you could have done differently. Mm-hmm. Which is I think it's okay to say, you know what, sometimes I can be a little imposing with my opinions about people on them. I respect that and understand that. Mm-hmm. But again, if I really know you, I know that it took a lot for you to say that to me. Mm-hmm. And I know you didn't say that lightly. And I know, because you are not a malicious, just nasty person, you're saying that with every good intention bone in your body. So I would, it's gonna hurt, and I might be mad like this. Like this. God damn it, Jada. And I would be mad.
Even with me trying to explain the situations to you, I'm trying so hard not to like place all the blame on these people. Like, I'm like, no, like, cause this is where I said, and I probably shouldn't have said, and you're like, but you know it took you a lot to say that in the first place. And I'm like, don't be thinking about that stuff when I'm in the moment. Like,
and so that component of a friendship is I see you. And you see me, we see each other, and it's not always a sight to behold, okay? But it's you, so it's always a sight. And I'm here for it, and so it's just respecting the friendship, and oftentimes friendships end the way they start.
Yeah, because if I look back on like some of the moments that I've had with like all of the friends that I just talked about, that I'm like, dang.
Only want your love if it's solid.
Wait, do you want to say anything about any friends?
I feel like I listen. Relationships, man. I'm listening. I get it. Trying to keep it.
I'm talking to you about these things. Like, it's really a big moment of reflection for me, right? I'm looking back at how gullible or green, or I don't want to use those words. Like,
can I give you another G word?
What?
Gracious.
Or like just how I feel like I be ignoring stuff that I shouldn't.
Join the human club.
And at the end of the day, I be feeling like I'm the one having these same experiences with all of these people, right? I'm the common denominator. So like, there's something I need to work on a little bit better about who I allow to have access to me. Yes. Especially knowing like now how sensitive I am, or how I do have a big heart and I do love hard, and sometimes it comes out as me having to tell you what I'm thinking.
That's part of love. What do you mean? That's a component of love, is honesty, transparency, truth.
And I have to do better about recognizing the signs and putting people in the positions that they need to be in my life. Because you can't really accept what?
No, please.
I said you can't really
accept.
No, accept wasn't the word I was trying to use. Control the type of people you attract to yourself, but you can decide the level of access that you give people, or if you want to allow the people that are coming to you to have an experience with you.
I was going to say,
what was you going to say?
That recognizing is great, but are we accepting what we're recognizing? Because you can recognize something all day.
Like, I see that.
But do you accept that as truth?
Yeah.
And are you, because when you recognize, you can accept, and when you accept, you can operate in that reality. But if you're just recognizing, that's great.
So I need to start listening to myself more when it comes to making connections with people.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I know this is, but I'm only saying it to you because I recognize it in me. Is that you probably don't listen to yourself in general regarding your life, not just in your friendship.
Tune in next time. Okay. All right. With love, Lanisha.